What a crazy week it's been so far in the NFL. And I'm going to get to the Dolphins and Jalen Ramsey in a bit, but we're going to start here with the Panthers. Maybe the Bears are coming up. The rebuilds are going to go crazy here in the next couple of days. So be sure to be subscribed if you're not already. But the Panthers moved that man in the middle, DJ Moore, over to Chicago. They traded a bunch of picks, but they got number one overall in return. And even though I saw the word fleece all over Twitter, the main thing that I said on Twitter, if you don't follow me, link is down in the description. But I said, hey, nobody's going to be calling this a fleece if the Panthers are actually able to develop whatever quarterback it is that they take. The price to get a franchise QB is very, very high. It's the most important position in football. So were the Panthers fleeced? That's the price you got to pay. If they can develop CJ Stroud or Bryce Young or Anthony Richardson or whoever it is, they're going to be fine. No one's going to care. If not, I don't know. I made the point of saying that draft picks are kind of like having money in the stock market. Like, it's great to have those picks, but if you don't take that money out and turn it into something actual, it doesn't matter. So the Bears actually have to capitalize on those picks. If they don't do anything with it, again, nobody's going to care what the Panthers gave up. So let's go ahead and get into this rebuild, build this team up, and unfortunately trade over DJ Moore. So we have to start by re-signing some players. I'll get to actually acquiring the number one overall pick in a minute. This is just unfortunately the order you have to go, and I can't make any trades right now before we do re-signing, which, why that exists, I don't know. I guess because officially none of these are going through before the start of the league year, but the trades have happened, right? So kind of frustrating, but I don't even know who we want to bring back here. I'm still focused on the younger players that are able to still develop, and they have to be high enough overall in order for that to happen. And there really isn't anyone here, with the exception of Eddie Pinheiro, that I would actually like to bring back. Yeah, sure, Deontay Foreman would be nice. I don't know if the Longhorns and shot hook him, but Deontay Foreman is probably just not going to be anything more than a backup for us. We're going to have to upgrade at running back in this rebuild, even if I think he's going to be pretty good in real life. Unfortunately, it's just not going to work in Madden, and I'm not going to franchise tag him in a pretty good running back class. Eddie Pinheiro, I would like to bring back, but he doesn't really want to be here, and he wants kind of a lot of money, so it's going to be tough. He's going to test free agency. It is what it is. We got to let him go. Can't wait for this. That is the first part of the trade. A 2023 number 9, number 61, that's being listed as 62 because the game doesn't know the Dolphins have forfeited a first-round pick. And then a first-round pick in 2024. We get the number 1 overall pick, which is nice. And then I have to remember when 2025 comes around, I have to trade a second-round pick that year, which I can do next year, but obviously we don't have access to it right now. And then I have to trade over DJ Moore for, effectively nothing. So I'll take a 7th round pick. Have fun. Well, this is the team before free agency here. Tommy Tremble, we are going to try and develop a little bit. Currently, he is our starting fullback. Got to change that. The receiving core, I'll be honest. The next quarterback does not have a lot to work with, but Laviska Shenault could be developed. Terrace Marshall, I think, could end up being pretty good in real life. He was real good at LSU. Could have been a first round pick, honestly. But I don't know how good he's going to end up being in game for us. I hope we can develop him, but I don't know that it's going to be super easy. But that'll be a focus. On the offensive line, I honestly think it could be rated a bit higher. Ike Mekwonu, very good. Austin Corbett, Taylor Moton. Like, we've got some good pieces. Got to upgrade on Brady Christensen and Pat Elflein probably. Christensen is fine for now, but we'll need to upgrade on Elflein. And then defensively, and keep in mind, a lot of this just is looking at the age development and overall. This is not real life, unfortunately, because some of these guys I feel like would have more potential and a brighter future in real life versus the actual game. Yeturgos Matos is going to be one of those weird decisions for us where he's 25, 74 overall. It's a little bit weird. Like, are we actually going to be able to develop him into being a real good player for us? Unlikely. But right there, he's just going to have to stay for now. I like Frankie Louvu. I know Shaq Thompson recently restructured. Don't care. I'm going to trade him if it comes to it. Although I don't know what his value is. He's 29. He's got normal dev now. He's an 82 overall. Yeah, I'm sure, like, great Panther. One of the better Panthers over the past decade or so. And he's just been, a good player on that team. But, the time has passed on that. Derek Brown is a beast. We all know I love Brian Burns. He was one of my favorite players in that 2019 draft class, and I really wanted the Giants to get him, and he has turned into an absolute monster. It was really either going to be Brian Burns at 6 or let him fall down the board a bit, and the Giants took Daniel Jones instead, who just got paid $40 million a year. It is what it is. Dante Jackson, J.C. Horn, C.J. Henderson. These corners are going to be good for us, hopefully. And then we got to upgrade on Xavier Woods. Maybe Jeremy Chin moves to the linebacker for me. Could happen. But we do have some pieces on defense at least. Miles Sanders is here in free agency. That's actually interesting. That's very interesting. Now, he wants about 7.5 per year. Nobody's offering on him yet. If we can go out and get a mentor running back, Miles Sanders would be a very good addition to this team. Okay, so I've targeted 4 players to start. We are going to get Gio Bernard. Bryce Huff, I don't think we're going to really have a shot at. I think Evan McPherson would be good just to get a lockdown, awesome, gonna nail every kicker. And then CJ Gardner-Johnson, I would love to have. 18 teams want him. He doesn't particularly want to be here. Just offering big money. Got to get more talent, and we will see how it goes. McPherson is still here. The only player we got was Gio Bernard. That's annoying. Josh Allen would have been good to go after, too. I don't even remember seeing him, to be honest. Chauncey Gardner-Johnson wanted to be close to home. Well, he signs with the Miami Dolphins. And that is unfortunate. Ooh, look at Patrick Peterson going back to Arizona. I feel like there were some missed opportunities in there. Although, this does free us up to offer on Miles Sanders. He really wanted a mentor at the position. Well, we have Gio Bernard. And I think we might be able to steal Miles Sanders here for, kind of cheap. That's kind of my expectation. And, I mean, it's still, you're committing money to a running back. But in the game, it matters so much. Like, they actually are not replaceable at all. You got to be a really high overall running back to be productive even a little bit. And I really don't think this is actually that bad for us. He's going to keep developing for a couple of seasons. I think he's going to be able to get into the 90s. Maybe a 4-year contract would be a little bit better for me. So maybe I would prefer that. And I think we're going to be able to bring in Miles Sanders. That's my expectation. And that was the result. We also brought in Evan McPherson. So we are getting better. I know 2 of our 3 signings are running backs, and the other one is a kicker. Doesn't exactly look like we're getting a ton better right now. But I think we are. Jamel Dean would be kind of nice, but it would involve moving somebody. I'm just not sure we can commit, double digits in the millions per year to Jamel Dean. And I'm not really sure about his role right now. So I think we're just going to go ahead and say, hey, we're good right now. We've done enough. I want to get our future quarterback a huge weapon, but there's just none available in free agency. And that's the problem that NFL teams are going to face this year is the free agent market at receiver is very, very thin, and it's not like there are a ton of top quality answers in the draft. A lot of that value in the draft is going to come either late 1 or second into the 3rd round, and maybe even beyond that. But there is no Marvin Harrison Jr. in this draft class, so to speak. So, teams are going to be in a really tough situation, and you might see some receivers you don't expect making a lot more than you would expect. It's kind of what my expectation is. A lot of expectations there in that sentence. But we're going to move on. Focus is on the draft. I think, again, we've done enough in free agency. This right now is about saving money. I think we can be competitive in the NFC South next year. Our team's not awful, but we gave up a lot of draft capital, so we absolutely have to capitalize with our number 1 overall pick. NFL draft time, we are up at number 1. Now, the Panthers did go into this trade with 2 first-round picks, so we do have a pick at the top of the 2nd round that we could take a receiver with potentially, and I think the Panthers will probably at least consider that. And here we are at number 1. Some good options here. Will Levis standing out. Dude, that was the guy I had to mock to the Panthers every time when they were picking at 9 because all the other quarterbacks were usually off the board. Not in this scenario. Bryce Young is here. Anthony Richardson is here. CJ Stroud. And I do think that the Panthers will end up taking CJ Stroud in real life. So that is who I'm taking here. And I know Bryce Young's a great option, although undersized. And there's even a rumor that the Panthers would consider moving down again, or moving down after moving up, which would be insane. But, they had an opportunity to move up, get rid of DJ Moore's contract as well, if we want to frame it positively. So you'd hope that they had a guy in mind when they moved up to 1. But we're going to take CJ Stroud. 89 throw power, which is going to seem low. It's really not so bad. Could bump that up a little bit, but we'll look for a comparable quarterback here in a minute. He's a decent athlete, although nothing spectacular. But what you get with CJ Stroud is the best accuracy you're going to find. He is pinpoint, incredible touch. CJ Stroud is super accurate. But when you look at quarterback throw power in the game, Josh Allen, Patrick Mahomes in the, upper 90s, Herbert right there as well. But then there's a big drop-off. Zach Wilson's the next highest at 93. And then Trevor Lawrence, who I think has a very good arm, is at 93. So going down to an 89, really isn't so bad. Aaron Rodgers is at 91 here, although he's regressed a little bit. Stafford's down to 91. But I think CJ Stroud has a pretty comparable arm to Dak Prescott, who at this point in his career is up to 90 at 30 years old. I think, at least in terms of strength, that's where CJ Stroud is. Again, he could be a tick higher or tick lower, but he's going to end up developing. So that 89 throw power will end up being in the 90s before you know it. I mean, Justin Fields is right at 90, and he's got a very good arm, in my opinion. So I don't really find 89 to be too bad. Bengal, you're just rationalizing a bad rating. It's all right. We're gonna push onward as Will McDonald goes to the Falcons, the edge rusher from Iowa State. And here we are at the top of the second round with receivers on the board. I do think there's a chance Quentin Johnson gets into the second round. I think that could happen. I think Hyatt should probably make it into round 2, which would be a pretty interesting speed threat to combine with CJ Stroud. And I'll tell you, we are going to take a receiver at this spot. Zay Flowers is still available. It's interesting with the custom draft classes this year that, they will move players up and down the board to create more variation. So it's not just copy paste from what you have actually made, which is interesting. But Zay Flowers is likely going to go higher than round 2 to 3. Same thing with a player I just saw, but that's not too relevant right now. We got to consider what receiver do we want to take. And Quentin Johnson, to me, is like a more athletic Terrace Marshall in terms of what they would play in our system. So I don't really want to do that. But Jalen Hyatt is pretty interesting. And I think we are going to take Jalen Hyatt. I know Quentin Johnson gets so much hype that it's going to seem weird that I'm passing on him. But I do think there's a chance in real life he could be off the board, whereas Hyatt could be available. And yeah, maybe he is available, and the Panthers take him, and I look like a fool for passing on him. But Hyatt has something that you are just not going to find, which is unbelievable, uncoachable, unteachable speed. He is so fast, and he offers something that our offense just currently does not have, which is that speed, deep threat, and he's got good hands as well. The big question with Jalen Hyatt in real life is, can he end up improving and developing as a route runner, and can he perform outside of that very niche Tennessee offensive system where you got the 2x2s to each side, all the way wide splits. It's a very bizarre looking offense, but it's very, very effective at the college level. Nobody does it in the NFL. So we don't really know if he can run an NFL route tree, which is going to be something that he'll have to do if he's going to end up being a top-tier receiver. So many corners still on the board. A.T. Perry is here as well, so is Jaden Reed. That's more speed. Jack Campbell could be a good pickup for us. But I'm going to go Sam Laporta here in round 3. It is a stacked tight end class. He is a big part of that. Very, very good player. The reason that it's L Porta and not Laporta is the game just doesn't let you type in Laporta, so I had to settle for it. But he's good. Really solid option. And it's not bad depth, at least, if we can't end up developing Tommy Tremble. Let's go Ronnie Hickman here from Ohio State. One of the better safeties in this draft. Some things have to move around with this class before we get to draft day. But we are going to select Ronnie Hickman. Pretty good athlete at the back end. Gives us a little bit of flexibility to potentially move Jeremy Chin around. But let's be honest, he's probably going to be a special teams player for us. I'm going to trade out of the 4th round here, hopefully for a future 3, as the Bengals take a backup quarterback, Clayton Tune from Houston. And we're not really being offered that. I'll take the Raiders 4th next year. Okay, draft recap. Didn't go so badly for us. CJ Stroud is a 76 overall with star or better development, which is quite good. And as you can see, the accuracy is very, very good. He is just a precision monster. So hopefully we can go ahead and continue to develop some other aspects of his game. Jalen Hyatt's a 74, which again, really isn't so bad. And when you factor in that super high-end speed, Jalen Hyatt, I think, could end up being an animal for us. The big question you wonder about with him, is the development as a route runner, and also is he going to be anything after the catch other than just being able to run fast? Can he actually make you miss in space? And that's not something we've really seen from him too far. We got Brandon Dorlus after Ronnie Hickman, who is a 73 overall, which is very nice, by the way. And then Travius Hodges-Tomlinson, the cousin, or actually nephew of LaDainian Tomlinson. Small corner, undersized, going to be slot only probably, but 69 overall, just a good player. And I'll tell you, maybe this is just, a bias due to my experience, but I don't know that I've seen a receiver drop more balls than Shi Smith. I don't know if there's one that exists. So I'm happy to get him off the field. We got Laviska, we got Jalen Hyatt, we have Terrace Marshall. I really don't think that's a bad trio. And then we have Dolphins franchise legend on the channel, Preston Williams, although I don't expect him to factor too much. But I like our receiving core at this point. It's not amazing. They've got some development to do, no doubt. And then defensively, a lot of depth. I mean, Hickman, I think, was a good pickup. We needed a backup safety. As you can see, we're really, really thin there. Travius Hodges-Tomlinson has star or better development. It really is not a bad group right now. Brandon Dorlus is even going to start for us. We just got to continue to get better. We are, in the midst of a rebuild right now. It's going to take a minute to get out of that. Although, with the Carolina Panthers playbooks, we might actually be in a pretty good spot to win the NFC South here. So I'm excited to see what we are capable of. Again, it is a rebuilding year, so my expectations are not too high, as Ronnie Hickman apparently is going to play the slot. No. And he's going to be our sub linebacker. Ronnie Hickman might develop. This is what I'm talking about. We are 6-1 at the midseason mark, and we have the number 1 offense in the league, number 4 in passing yards per game, number 6 in rushing yards per game. I'm not sure I've ever seen a combination quite like that before, where they're all so high. Usually it's passing's really high and rushing's really low, or the reverse of that, right? But here, we are just a dominant offense, and our defense is doing enough. I mean, we are 6-1 right now, but we do have a couple of massive free agents. Brian Burns, Derek Brown, Jeremy Chin, Shaq Thompson even will be a tough decision, but I think we do want to bring him back for another year, and that'll align with what the Panthers have done in real life. Frankie Louvu, I absolutely want back. He's going to be a big part of this team, I think. And then, Laviska Shenault, Yatur Gross-Matos, CJ Henderson. So many top picks, and a lot of these guys from other teams even, Laviska and CJ Henderson at least. So many big free agents. We're going to have to start with Brian Burns and massive contract. We have so much money to do it that that's not even a concern of mine. 7-year contract, you're here forever. Brian Burns is back. Fire continues to burn in Charlotte, North Carolina. Derek Brown's going to be a little bit tougher. Big contract. Awesome piece to our defensive line. Now, Jeremy Chin is one we're going to wait on, because for some reason, at 6-1, we are still an underdog in the Super Bowl chase. That's going to change if we continue to be successful. So I'm going to wait on Jeremy Chin, because he will have big interest if we are able to make the playoffs. Shaq Thompson wants to be here, and we could even get him all the way there if we wait. So we're going to wait on Shaq Thompson as well. And then Frankie Louvu, tell me he wants to be here. No, he's just about the money, but that's okay. That's okay. Let's see if we can get the low-risk contract. Yes, Frankie Louvu is back as well. This is going really well, and we have future strategy factoring in. Zane Gonzalez is obviously gone. We have another kicker. I'm actually shocked the CPU didn't cut him. We got to wait on Chenault and Yeturgos Matos. And we might even... do we trade him? No, I think we'll wait. And CJ Henderson, I want to be here. And then it's nice to go into one of these rebuilds not needing a quarterback at all. CJ Stroud is our guy. And Lonnie Walton. We could use an edge rusher. Back-to-back years trading up to number 1. Good athlete, not exceptional. I could still see him being worth it, though. A little bit worried about the run-stopping ability with deep block shed. Wow, you almost never see a free safety supposed to go this high. But he's a zone type with a hit power. And he has great to elite speed and strength. Am I going to see my first generational safety? Dude, I am intrigued at the very least. And another really good looking prospect. The only problem, as you guys know, we don't have a first round pick. Don't have a first round pick. So how am I even going to get close to being in position to take these players? I just don't know. Okay, now Chauncey Tung, first of all, is a name I've never seen before. Good athlete, run stopper archetype with B block shed, A to C pursuit tackle, and B zone coverage is rare for a run stopper type. So I think we found some value on day 3, and we're going to have to because we don't have the picks. And this cornerback, Marquise Wiggins, is going to be really good. 6'4", already crazy, but it looks to be very good in coverage overall as well. I'm sure he's a good athlete. Great to elite speed. Oh my goodness. Hold on a second. What am I supposed to do in this draft? There's so many players that I actually want to draft that I'm never in position for. This is wild. In recent rebuilds, what it's been is, okay, I want to draft all these players. Or excuse me, I don't want to draft them because they're bad, but I have the top picks. Here, there's so many players I want to draft, and we don't have the picks to get them. We're going to get creative. Oh yeah, we got to trade a 2025 round 2 to the Bears, by the way. Get their future 7. I didn't even get a chance to talk about Keith Taylor, who I'm a big fan of. I like the corners that they have. Can I trade one of these? I know we just drafted Travius Tomlinson. We just don't really need him. You know what we could do? That's what we're going to do. We're going to trade Dante Jackson, probably. Okay, we're getting a little bit crazy. We are trading Dante Jackson, a future 1. Dude, you know what? We're going full Rams. We are mortgaging our future for a Super Bowl. But I actually don't think this is so bad. We're trading Ian Thomas as well. We drafted Sam Laporta. We don't really need him. We're getting the Lions' first rounder and their second rounder this year. So we're saying, hey, we don't necessarily need the first rounder next year right now. We can get creative with how we get one if we want to. But this draft class, we know, is very good. Or at least it appears that way, right? We know it is. We don't know what the next draft class is going to be after this. So I want to get picks in this draft. I want to refill, so to speak. So I'm trying to get Yeturgos Matos out of here. The reason why I was able to trade Dante Jackson, big contract, aging. We have good corners in behind him. I'm going to extend CJ Henderson. We don't need him right now. And I might consider drafting a corner as well in this draft class. And the reason why, even though we're 6-1, I can feel okay about trading Yeturgos Matos, he's not even a rush end anyway. It's Frankie Louvu. So we don't really need him right now. And his contract is expiring. We're getting wild at the trade deadline. But if you remember, this trade deadline in real life in the 2022 season was nuts. This is the way of the league now. Things get crazy. The best thing we can do is get a second-round pick for him from the Bills. And I'm okay with that. More ammo to move up. I know we're getting wild, but there's probably even as good of a replacement sitting in free agency, if I had to bet. We're looking for a 75 overall defensive end. Jordan Willis is close-ish. Carlos Dunlap for a year is going to be the one, though. Let's bring him in. CJ Stroud does have star development, by the way. I'm sure Travius Hodges-Tomlinson does as well. Carlos Dunlap, actually a scheme fit for us, although I imagine Frankie Louvu will continue to be a rush end for us. And we are overperforming as it is. So I'm not sure, what our expectations should be. How old is Damian Wilson? 30? Yeah, he's going to have to be replaced. We've got a lot of replacing to do. But we are going to advance to the playoffs here. We are 6-1. If we can win 10 games, get into the playoffs, guess what? Our first round pick that the Bears have doesn't really matter as much anymore, does it? And we do win 10 games. We make the playoffs, although the Buccaneers actually won the division. If we see these first-year stats, though, I am very impressed with CJ Stroud, who nearly threw for 5,000 yards as a rookie, 39 touchdowns. He is record-setting out here. Unbelievable rookie year. 16 picks, but whatever. Miles Sanders was great. 4.3 yards per carry. Had a ton of carries, 13 touchdowns. Receiving, Jalen Hyatt, great rookie year. Just shy of 1,100 yards, 8 touchdowns. Similar numbers from Terrace Marshall. This is what we're looking for. And then Miles Sanders, in that Christian McCaffrey role, was also unbelievable. When you look at his total numbers, he's over 2,000 yards from scrimmage easily. And 6 touchdowns plus his 13. I mean, he's just shy of 20 total. Incredible numbers. Tommy Tremble existed, and that's about all he needed to do. And then defensively, Shaq Thompson put up a great year. About 140 tackles, 7 for loss, 2 sacks, 3 picks. Great year. Brian Burns, 13 for loss with 14 sacks. Frankie Louvu was 7, Derek Brown 5. Had a number of interceptions as well. I think the defense could stand to get better, but what do you say about that offense? It was absolutely incredible. Number 2 in the league and very well balanced. The defense could have been better, but man, that offense was insane. Well, the Vikings did go 12-5. Let's see if they're for real this year. And we will have to see. And they were not. Eliminated in the first round again. We move on to the divisional. We got some upgrades too. Show me CJ Stroud. There he is. CJ Stroud. Let's do strong arm. Hopefully get 90 throw power on him. Doesn't happen, but did he get it already? Nope, didn't. But look at his accuracy. It's incredible. When do you see a rookie with accuracy this good? It just doesn't happen. The Commanders went 13-4, 83 overall. This is not an unbeatable team, although it was for us. 21-10, we have been eliminated from the playoffs, just shy of the conference championship. But what an awesome season for us. Hopefully some of the players that didn't want to be here are now eager to return. We've got a lot to negotiate with, so it's going to be a little bit difficult, as the Commanders actually went on to beat the Chiefs in the Super Bowl. And Jonathan Allen won Super Bowl MVP. Although, CJ Stroud won Offensive Rookie of the Year. Also, Miles Sanders easily won Offensive Player of the Year. What a season for him. CJ Stroud probably on the fast track to Superstar Dev. And I would say that Miles Sanders, I would be shocked if he was not up to Superstar X Factor at this point. And let's see if that is true. It's not. He wins Offensive Player of the Year and doesn't get a Dev Trade upgrade. That seems pretty absurd. Okay. He gets upgraded at least to a temporary 95 overall. Looking very, very, very good. Now, CJ Stroud surely is a superstar. And he is. Yeah, he's going to be our franchise option for sure. And hopefully he gets that tag, which could motivate players to want to play here. And he has it. Close to home, Kansas. I don't think CJ Stroud's from Kansas. We're not in Kansas anymore, CJ Stroud. I'm going to tell you, I anticipate this draft being insane. We'll have to see how that goes. Free agency could be big for us, but I do want to bring some of these players back first. Jeremy Chin does want to be here now. He's had a change of heart now that we are a playoff contender. And we probably don't have to offer him much more than this, but I do want to extend him for a long time. He wants to play for a new team. Why? Why? I'm going to franchise tag him probably, but I'm going to wait to do so. Shaq Thompson wants to be here as well. Up the money slightly. Shaq Thompson's back for 2 years. Laviska wants to be here because we now have a franchise quarterback. I could do a 3-year deal on Laviska Shenault. Not interested in signing either. How is that possible? It says you are. You're a liar. CJ Henderson, he wants championships. We don't have those yet, but we could. I want a 5-year deal. He's not interested in signing either. Does anyone want to be here? Well, we are going to tag Jeremy Chin because he is the one player out of these that we cannot afford to lose, and we'll try to negotiate and bring the rest back in actual open free agency. But unrestricted free agency can be crazy and unpredictable. Nick Bosa is here. Lamar Jackson and Justin Herbert are here. Rashawn Gary is here and wants to be here. Ertz, Kenny Moore, we don't really need. Okay, there are some players, though, that we should go after. And let me tell you, if you needed a quarterback, this was the year. But I would prefer Rashawn Gary to Nick Bosa just because what we're going to have to pay him. It's about $10 million cheaper per year. Jeffrey Simmons would also be unreal. Brandon Ayuk is here. Darnell Mooney is here. Money with 2 O's. No one is offered on either. Do we want Mooney or Ayuk? Ayuk is really, really good. But Darnell Mooney is cheaper. They're the same age. He's slightly more interested. See if we can bring him in. And then we don't really feel so bad about not getting Laviska Shenault back. And no one is offered on Trayvon Diggs. We could use a corner with CJ Henderson testing free agency. And there are some other players we could go ahead and offer on. You know, Henderson is way down the board. But when you look at age here, he's probably one of the best ones we could actually get. Although, again, Jeff Okudah could be quite good as well. Saw him. Doesn't really want to be here, but he's not actually all that expensive. This is someone that I don't think has an offer right now. No, he doesn't. So we're going to wait on that. He could end up being the one. So we're going to offer on Trayvon Diggs, Rashawn Gary, and Darnell Mooney. This would be a really great haul for us. And, I mean, Garrett Bradbury's just a little bit too expensive for me. Could bring back Bradley Bozeman for a year. Let's see how it goes. I'm in a pretty good spot. Feel really good about who we're going after. And Darnell Mooney still on the board, but Rashawn Gary and Trayvon Diggs are coming to North Carolina. They are the newest Panthers. Rashawn Gary is a phenomenal upgrade over who we traded, right, in Yetur Gross-Matos. And then Trayvon Diggs, I mean, that feels like a pretty good upgrade for our team over CJ Henderson. Now we have a couple of good young corners. J.C. Horn is great. Travius Hodges-Tomlinson in the slot, and we could draft a corner as well. We're just looking for an edge, but we found him in Rashawn Gary. So we really just need an off-ball linebacker, an interior defensive lineman, and a free safety. And this team is pretty much complete on the defensive side of the ball. No one has offered on Jeffrey Simmons yet. I mean, it's probably because he wants to be paid like a defensive end when he's an interior player, but those guys are making this money nowadays anyway. Did you see Deron Payne's contract today as I record this? Kind of crazy. I am going to offer on Jeffrey Simmons because he's just that good. We have the money. If we can get Jeffrey Simmons, it would be massive. And I don't know if we can get him for just that cheap, but maybe something closer to that. 3 bars on him could be the one. And Jeffrey Simmons still mulling over offers. Titans trying to get back in it. Don't need Bradley Bozeman. We'll draft a center if it comes to it. I think we're going to keep the contract as it is. It's a lot of money. Jeffrey Simmons is really good, but we'll see if he goes to Tennessee or not. Giants are in it now. That would be cool. I don't think we're going to get him. We could change our offer. Would we rather have the money, or would we rather have Jeffrey Simmons? The answer is I would rather have Jeffrey Simmons. We're going to offer that. And unfortunately, we did not get Jeffrey Simmons. He's headed back to Tennessee. He says we're going to look to save a little bit of money here and focus more on the draft. We got some huge signings as it is, right? So we are just focused on the draft, bringing talent that way. And I usually don't like picking up the 5th-year option. And he didn't barely see the field. He was a starter, by the way. Thank you. Just because you're going to pay them more when the game is like, hey, they're a higher overall. Like, they should get paid more money, but obviously I don't want to do that. So I just decline it, and then I negotiate a year early. I got to make Jeremiah Tarpley a focus player. I mean, I think this safety could be ridiculous. If I want to trade all the way up for a safety, I better know that he's going to be unbelievable. And the athletic is off the charts. I mean, are we looking at Ed Reed? I don't know. Okay, we pick at number 17 overall. Bears with back-to-back number 1 overall picks. Didn't choose to trade down this time around. And Tarpley has A zone coverage. I'm moving up. I'm going to move up for a safety. And it's going to be like, why are you doing that? And it's just because drafting really good players is fun. And that's what it comes down to for me. Now, the players I'm really interested in are the 2 linebackers I looked at. And that is Zach Nix from South Carolina. B block shed, A pursuit, A tackle. Very good. Has elite speed. But for an outside linebacker, So this is not someone that is going to have elite speed for a middle linebacker, which would be much, much faster in the game. And then Ben Cortez I took a look at. D, block shedding is concerning, but very, very good athlete with really good cover skills as well. We'll probably get him in the mid-rounds. But I mean, Marquise Wiggins is going to be tough to turn down if he's available. 6'4" with elite speed. I mean, you just don't find that. As long as that safety out of Cal does not go number 1 overall, he will be what team am I? I'm the Panthers. He'll be a Carolina Panther. I'm going to trade with the Dolphins. I'll make it happen. Dolphins don't have a quarterback on the roster, by the way, and they have no money. They have no cap room to take on a player, but we have 3 second-round picks. We got to be able to move up. There's the slightest sliver ever between making this work. This is crazy. Trading 104, 175, and 172 projected next year for number 88 from the Jaguars. I'm going to use that to trade up. The Dolphins don't want a ton for this pick. I know I'm trading up to 2 for a safety. You don't have to tell me the positional value. I already paid Miles Sanders in free agency. We just got to take good players. Now, are they going to take a quarterback, though? Surely they don't take a safety with Javon Holland back there. That would be crazy. We're gonna simulate a pick here. They take a quarterback. Okay. This is better. Now it's going to be just the slightest bit easier to move up, because we're going to go ahead and trade here with the Texans, who look like they could be targeting a free safety. Not so fast. Okay, we are moving up from 17 to 3, trading number 59 and number 91 to make it happen. Just, I mean, a slight bit more value than I would have liked to give up, but it really isn't so bad for us. We were giving up a lot of value to move up to number 3, but Jeremiah Tarpley, I can safely say, is the best safety prospect I have seen in Madden 23. 21 years old out of Cal, only 5'10", maybe he's Earl Thomas. A hit power is phenomenal. C man coverage is good enough. B tackle's good. A zone coverage is great. He is a tremendous athlete. Elite speed, elite strength, great for acceleration and agility. The rest is good. Skill-wise, I mean, A hit power as well, A awareness. He's going to be incredible, and he is a Carolina Panther. 94 speed, 92 acceleration with 91 agility, 87 change of direction and jumping. Strength is in the mid-70s. He's phenomenal. He's a phenomenal player, and I just couldn't let that player get past us in the draft. Couldn't do it. We're trading a second this year, number 43, and a third next year for number 27. Again, we're trying to take advantage of a good draft class, and there are some good players in this draft. We want to get better right now. Hey, Alex Smith. I thought he retired. Anyway, Texans draft him. Here we are at 27. Now, there was a linebacker I was looking at. He is off the board. What about Max Thierry from Alabama? Kind of a cool name. He's a good athlete, and that's maybe even a stretch. Now, LaMarcus Stevens at outside linebacker is definitely good, and Marquise Wiggins looks very good at corner. It's like, which one do I want out of these two? LaMarcus Stevens looks like a very solid linebacker with elite speed for the outside linebacker position. But A hit power, A play rec, A tackle. I mean, it's tough to pass on that. We're going to take him. Hidden Dev with 87 speed, 90 acceleration, and at 6 foot 247, that's somebody that I could see playing inside linebacker for us. Very happy with that. And I'd love to come back up for Marquise Wiggins. The question is just, how long does he stay on the board? We don't need linebackers in the mid-rounds anymore. We might take one, but we don't necessarily need those mid-round picks. I know we are doing a lot of movement on the board, but I'm telling you, man, I think it's going to be worth it. Also, did we just trade I think we just traded for our first round pick back from Chicago. I blanked for a second. Okay, it's a little weird. Trading again with the Dolphins for number 34. We are trading a second round pick inside the top 50, and then multiple 5th round picks, I should say. And we're going to try and take that corner if he is available here at the start of the second round. I know we've done a lot of crazy things in this draft, but the draft is a crazy place, and we are going to get crazy. Marquise Wiggins is a 6'4" corner with elite speed and agility, which I can't even tell you how absurd that is for someone with 6'4" to have elite agility. But he also has great jumping, and elite speed is something I don't even see with any of the corners. And he can cover. Be block shed, be man, be press. He's going to be incredible. Hidden dev, of course. 95 speed, 92 excel, 92 agility, 89 change of direction, 91 jumping. I mean, this... You never know with the overalls, but this feels like it could be one of my best drafts of all time. Okay, third round. There is a player on the board that I have favorited. Now, we don't exactly know how good he is. He's not a great athlete. Does have elite acceleration. Probably going to pass on that. Oh, yeah, I forgot all about Chauncey Tongue. We could wait on that, though. It's just, do we want Randall Webb? I decided on no. We don't have to take Evan Scott here. He's UDFA. Taj Winters, kind of the same deal. And really, it's a one-trick pony defensive tackle. 6'5", 303. All he can do is rush the passer. He's not a great athlete. This is not somebody we need. I'm going to trade down for a pick next year. Trading a 3, a 4, and then a future 5 for a future second from the Chargers, and I hope they're really bad. Don't have Justin Herbert anymore. I think that could certainly hurt them. And we're going to simulate to our next pick. And we have no picks remaining. I thought we had 2 still. Maybe that's next year. Okay, the draft recap could be absolutely massive. I'm not too upset about who we missed on. And to me, this is a tremendous class. An 82 overall rookie free safety is great. Maybe he's not generational, but he's very good. 94 speed, 84 zone, 83 hit power. Great athlete, and then great ability. He should be fantastic for us. And then we didn't do too bad after that. LaMarcus Stevens is a 75. Might go down at middle linebacker, but the block shedding's really good. The coverage is not so good. But he's going to be our starting inside linebacker. And also, both of these top 2 picks are only 21 years old, so a lot of room to develop there. And then Marquise Wiggins is the oldest of the bunch, 23, but he is already a 76 overall, and at 6'4", 188, he is a freak. 75 man, zone coverage approaching the 70s, both playing down right now. Tackling's not so good, don't care, just be a lockdown corner. So he's not going to start in the nickel for us, but he could definitely get on the field. So Tarpley is actually the highest overall player in the class by a lot. 82. The next highest is a 76, and we drafted him. So we got the top 2 players in the draft, and then there's some good talent kind of throughout. Lonnie Walton I looked at was a 76, so not so bad. And good value in the third from Xavier Benson. I thought this said Craig Steltz at first. Former, I believe, LSU safety of the Bears. Is exactly right. So kind of weird blast from the past there. I'm just looking throughout the class. Oh yeah, I wanted to see Tongue. There he is. He's a 67 overall with normal development. I guess we really didn't miss out on much. Now we're going to pick up a rookie fullback here, Kenny Walden from West Virginia. Pretty high rated, but he'll be a good blocker out there. Okay, there's a corner with the name Jerry Rice. Well, let me tell you, he's nothing like the actual Jerry Rice. Bo Rowe is a heck of a name, by the way. No random X Factor free agents lurking in free agency, so I'm assuming we did as well as we could have in the draft, and we'll get ready to start this next season. Now, we do need a center. I'll sign Justin Britt. He's not great. We don't really have picks for the most part in this next year's draft either, which I'm okay with, by the way. I know I've probably already been a little bit too crazy for some of your liking, but I think we did what we had to do to become a better team, and we are looking quite good right now. The fact that Jalen Hyatt didn't get upgraded to star is a little bit crazy to me, but the offense for the most part looks really good. It's going to run through Miles Sanders again, and then defensively, I mean, we got some studs. Could use another defensive tackle, but corner is sorted. Safety, sorted, obviously. A lot of scheme fits here, too. It's a really solid team. Okay, only 3-3 at the midseason mark in 2024. Our offense has taken a big step back, while our defense has really got it going. But all in all, I think it spells out a team that is better than we've shown so far at 3-3. It seems like we should be, one of the better teams in the league. And again, we don't have the highest amount of picks here in 2020 or the 2025 draft. We need center or just interior offensive line in general. Receiver could use an upgrade potentially. And then defensively, we just need that D tackle. And maybe an outside linebacker with Shaq Thompson regressing, Frankie Louvu being maybe a bit of a question mark. But man, look at that. Marquise Wiggins, superstar dev. Little bit of a wrinkle here. Zone coverage is real bad. Did not expect him to have superstar. That could be a potential game changer for us. Now, I question why we don't know the dev traits of either Tarpley or Stevens yet. They're so close. And we shouldn't really have a lot of players ready to negotiate because we just had a ton last year. Oh, yeah, Jeremy Chin is back. All right, some important players in here again. Oh, my goodness, dude. It never ends. We still have a ton of money, though. I bet a 5-year contract for you, Jeremy. Welcome back. Finally came to his senses. Corbett, 4-year deal. Bigger offer. Okay, that was a big one. J.C. Horn wants a lot of money, but he is back. Wasn't actually so bad. Wasn't as bad as I thought it was going to be. Tommy Tremble not considering shorter deals. Well, I just gave you 5 years, so the game's broken per usual. He wanted 3, I gave him 5. He's not considering shorter deals. So that doesn't exist. A 4-3, big 14-6 win over the Falcons. Can the offense wake up, dude? LaMarcus Stevens, we should know his dev trait now, does have an upgrade. We don't know it. How has he not played enough snaps? Let's do pass coverage. Corbett wants a massive deal. Well, we can up it a bit. Definitely want him back in Carolina. He's going to get franchise tagged. I mean, I don't know what type of offer you want. You're not getting $15 million a year. Let's not be crazy. Tommy Tremble returns. 5-year deal, by the way. I forced it. So I had to change the money around a little bit. And then Terrace Marshall, Brady Christensen, we can probably wait on. Chuba Hubbard, no. Xavier Woods, obviously not. Johnny Hecker, no. And then Corbett's going to get tagged, so that's not really a problem. Some big upgrade potential here. Darnell Mooney is going to get a little bit better. Going to go deep threat on him. Get him upgraded to an 84 overall. Some decent improvements in there, but the big one's going to be CJ Stroud here, and then I'll do Tommy Tremble off camera. CJ Stroud, I want more throw power. It's still at an 89. The accuracy is incredible. I want to just get him into the 90s. He's plus 2 and 85 now. Show me throw power. Plus 4 awareness and plus 1 break sack. Okay. Let's see our dev traits on defense, by the way. The free safety and the middle linebacker now. I'm hoping for at least superstar from one of them. It'll probably be the free safety, but he is only star. So not a generational free safety, just a really, really good one. And then we still do not know LaMarcus Stevens. I don't get why he's not playing unless the CPU has moved him out of the sub linebacker role. He's still number 2, which means he should be playing quite a bit. I'll swap him and Shaq Thompson, but don't really know why he's not getting more snaps per game. Running back, who's 5'8", projected to go top 5. I don't really see it. He's probably going to be good, though. This is the one. Lamar Allen. Jamie's not a quarterback. He's got some good history there. But A, zone coverage, A, hit power, B, block shed, B, man, B, tackle. Physically, very good. Elite speed, jumping, agility. Or could be elite. I guess great to elite. I would be fine with great. And then Elias Feliz in round 2 to 3. Like, this is a really good draft class to need a linebacker. It seems like not only are there talented players at the position, there's just good value as well. So if we are in the market for a linebacker, which I can tell you we are going to be very happy in the draft, I would have to expect. Avery Bradley, hook him. Another guy with the last name Tongue. Man, what that Tongue do in this Madden 23 to see these back-to-back Tongues in the draft, dude. Wow, what a season for us. Boy, did we turn it around from that 3-3 start. Finished 13-4. Let's take a look at it. Lost to the Saints by a touchdown. Lost to the Cowboys by 10. Lost to the Commanders by the touchdown or less. The Commanders are seeming to be the team to beat so far. And then lost to the Raiders by 6. Other than that, we won every single game from our bye. But so we didn't win it. We lost one. But still a very impressive run nonetheless. And we are clearly in our groove right now. Tom Brady, by the way, is yet to retire. interesting. CJ Stroud, pretty good year. Not as good as his rookie year, probably, but cut down in the interceptions, although yards and touchdowns came down a bit as well. Miles Sanders, really good at finding the end zone. Chuba Hubbard with 10 scores. Miles Sanders, probably going to win Offensive Player of the Year again. If you're just going to tag on 600 receiving yards and probably, 5 or 6 receiving touchdowns as well. And he actually had 923 receiving yards and 11 touchdowns, so even better. This would be a great year for a receiver, and he is a running back that also rushed for 15 touchdowns and 1,400 yards. Absurd. Darnell Mooney was great. Terrace Marshall did a good job. Jalen Hyatt, despite having 90, probably 8 speed at this point, averaging less than 12 yards a catch, still 97. The game just doesn't know how to account for different players. It's frustrating. And then defensively, Shaq Thompson putting together a nice year. LaMarcus Stevens needs to figure out how to play coverage, and then we're going to be in a better spot. Derek Brown, 17 tackles for loss is great. 16 for Gary, 10 for Brian Burns, who also had a team-leading 18.5 sacks, 11.5 for Gary, 3.5 for Brandon Dorless, who's probably not going to stay around for too much longer, although he does have the future starter tag. We forced a lot of turnovers, too. Really good year all the way around. And it's the 8 and 9 Giants. It snuck into the playoffs. Saquon Barkley up to a 98 overall superstar X Factor at 19 touchdowns this year. Giants could be interesting here. They're not. 49-24. We steamroll them. And now the Commanders stand in our way. Miles Sanders, 78 overall receiving back. Doesn't quite seem like it, does it? When he has nearly 1,000 yards receiving and 11 touchdowns as a receiver. Unreal year for Miles Sanders, but that is the strength of the Carolina playbook. Get the running back involved. Frankie Louvu, we're going to do pass coverage again. I think I did it last time. Going to do it again. Doesn't really impact his overall, but I think it will make him better in the long run. Very well-rounded player. Speed isn't so great on Louvu. He's still developing, but unfortunately at a snail's pace. All right, 85 overall against 85 overall. Tell me we can beat him. I think same overall offense and defense, by the way, exactly 83-88. And we move on 38-17. Big time win. And we'll face the 14-3 San Francisco 49ers in the conference championship to decide who is going to the Super Bowl out of the NFC, and Lamar Jackson is their quarterback. What am I seeing? We are down 7, now 14-0 early. Offense needs to step it up. Defense could do with playing better as well. And we're starting to see that a little bit as we are edging right back into this game. And we're actually going to be tied at 17 here in the fourth quarter and take the lead 24-17. Got to score here. Doesn't even matter. We burn the entire clock. What a win for the Panthers. Come from behind. We were down, 17-3? Look at that chart right there. Unbelievable graph. CJ Stroud, 3 touchdowns. Lamar Jackson threw for under 150 yards. I know they're a run-first team, but that is a staggeringly low number. But I don't care. Doesn't matter. Whatever. We are the Carolina Panthers, and we are excited to be in the Super Bowl. What a run so far. And this is what a franchise-level quarterback could do for a team. It's going to be Chiefs, Panthers. We could do it. We could do it. We could win. The Commanders just beat them last year. Why not us? Did Brandon Dorless get up to star dev? That would have been cool. That would have been maybe a reason to keep him around. Although if I'm starting Brandon Dorless again next year, we got a problem. We have a big-time problem if he's getting significant time. There's Matt Corral. Everyone's like, why would they draft a quarterback? They have Matt Corral. Come on, dude. 3rd-round draft pick by the previous regime. Or previous head coach, I should say. I don't know if he's the guy. Never played a snap in the NFL, injured. I'm not sure he's the guy you want to be counting on. Still no dev trait changes on offense. This is crazy. This is crazy. Hyatt's got to be star at some point. I know he didn't have the year this year, but Sanders doesn't even go up? How does Miles Sanders not get an upgrade? Once again, wins running back and offensive player of the year. He's an X factor at this point. How is he not? Defensively, Trayvon Diggs is up to superstar development. The rest, it's pretty much stars all over the place. Wiggins, of course, is superstar, and Brian Burns as well, obviously. But we need to see some more dev trait upgrades. Come on. Zach Harrison, Ohio State defensive end, up to superstar X Factor for the Chiefs. Maybe their late first round pick. Maybe he went a little bit later. Zach Harrison, somebody that I could see sneaking into the first round that doesn't really get any buzz at all. Maybe he goes later, but you look at the traits, the long arms, the athleticism, the getting better every year. You think maybe he could be the surprise, like L.J. Collier, that sneaks in round one, or even offensively, Cole Strange, obviously, last year. It never goes exactly how you expect in the draft, so there are always going to be surprises. As the Chiefs go up early 7-0, but we tie it up. They take the lead right back 14-7. Approaching the end of the first half here, we are tied at 14. Chiefs go right back ahead. We got a field goal, and we need more points here. And that is exactly how you do it. 24-21, and we jumped in too late. Chiefs are going to be an offense. Did Mahomes just turn over the football? He must have. Interception by Jeremy Chin, and we could ice it here in the Super Bowl to win it. That's a 2-minute warning. We are a touchdown away. Chiefs with 3 timeouts. That first down is just 10 yards away. That's what we want to get to. But we also want to take timeouts off the board. Sanders looking for space. That'll work. So we're not trying to do anything crazy. 3rd and 6. Got to move the chains here. Perfect accuracy. I don't know how that was. How was that perfect accuracy? Didn't even hit him in the hands. Didn't even come close. Maybe we should have run the ball. But if you guys have never seen my rule before, welcome to the video. We do not ever, ever, ever go up 6 in a situation like this and incentivize a touchdown to beat us. And I know a run here seems wild, but they're giving it to us. We're going to try it. Got a block. Sanders moves the chains. 1st and goal. Go with your strength. Our strength is running the football. And Miles Sanders has just won us a Super Bowl. It's over now. They're going to let us into the end zone if they have any sense about them. But it's already too late. It's already too late. This could be the final snap of the game. We could just knee it. That's no fun. Sanders up the middle. Touchdown. Game over. Now, I know in real life that would never happen because you just take the knees. You just kneel it down. Doesn't matter because they're not ever going to score multiple touchdowns in these final 20 seconds with no timeouts. The Panthers are Super Bowl champions. CJ Stroud, only in year 2, gets it done, and even he can't believe it. But the team is already pretty good, and we are going to get better because we're going to roll it back for another season, try to go back-to-back with CJ Stroud. Couldn't win a national championship, came pretty close, but now we're going to try and get it done in the NFL. Let's run it back. Why is CJ Stroud not up on the podium at this point? It's only, I believe, Ike Ekwonu, or is that Taylor Moton? There he is. There's CJ Stroud. Ekwonu's over there. That was Taylor Moton who's wearing 72. Didn't realize Ekwonu was face scanned into the game. But that is the Super Bowl. We upset the Chiefs. Big time win. And we'll see if we can go back to back. I think we got some upgrades as well for winning the Super Bowl. Not too bad. Shaq Thompson's regressing. This is probably going to be his final year here in Carolina, North Carolina. CJ Stroud finally up to 90 throw power, by the way, but look at those accuracies. Pretty incredible. Geno Smith, by the way, is on the Commanders and won MVP. CJ Stroud with the Super Bowl MVP, and once again, Miles Sanders, Offensive Player of the Year, but refuses to go up to Superstar X Factor. And you know why? It's because he's not leading the league in rushing, so he's not meeting the threshold to get there, even though he's being the most impressive running back by a ton. It's not being showcased in his development. We have a ton of money here. Who do we need to bring back again? Corbett, I said I was going to tag. Oh, we just have a ton of money. Christensen, we can negotiate with in free agency, overpay if necessary. Yeah. Terrace Marshall, same deal. They don't want to be here, so I'm not going to force it, at least not now. But Corbett does not have a say. Corbett is either going to sign an extension for this amount of money, or he's going to get tagged. All right, Corbett's back long term. That was easier. Micah Parsons is here. Jalen Waddle. Tremaine Edmonds. We have options. Carlton Davis is a superstar X Factor. And the best part about being successful, winning the Super Bowl, Everybody wants to be here. What do we need? We could use a receiver, interior offensive line, so Tommy Tremble's not playing left guard. We need a center. Corbett's going to be fine. But we need, 2 interior offensive linemen, a receiver, and I think, Micah Parsons just might be too good to pass up on. I know he's not a great system fit. We could go 3-4, and then we could have, it would be Gary probably playing 3-4 end, Brown as the nose, Burns either outside linebacker or 3-4 end, even though it's not a great fit. But it just doesn't matter in the game, and he can be a rush end, Micah Parsons, outside linebacker, and then Luvu and Stevens on the inside. Shaq Thompson in there as well, maybe. I don't know. We'll figure it out. But the thing is, you can't have too much talent. We are in the business of getting talent. We have the money to do so. We are coming off a Super Bowl win. We only want to get better. It starts with Waddle. Dude, Javon Hargrave is from North Carolina. I got to offer him. And we're going after some top-tier free agents, or really Waddle and Tremaine Edmonds. Going to pass on Micah Parsons. He's really good. It's just not really a great fit for us, unfortunately. And all these guys want to be here. Quinn Miners doesn't really, but he also does. But compared to everybody else, he's the weakest. But I think we're going to be able to get everybody here, or maybe 4 out of 5. No, we went 5 out of 5. Cody Whitehair is going to play center. Quinn Miners at left guard, right guard, one of the two. Good scheme fits. Javon Hargrave, Tremaine Edmonds, Jalen Waddle. We were already great and got a whole lot better. What do we even need going to the draft here? I don't know. Just BPA. I think we're in a really good spot. We need a punter. That's a thing. Linebackers in a good spot. Corners in a great spot. Receivers in a great spot. Running backs in a great spot. Everything is in a great spot, which means I think we should repeat as champions. We still have money too, but we're going to save that because we'd want to be in position to pay CJ Stroud when that comes up. Although I wouldn't for a few years, but we got a lot of guys that we're paying right now, so we are going to save the money and just chill. Just let it roll over, get some extra cap, and maybe we'll sign a punter. Actually, Ryan Stonehouse is the one. And he signed. Ryan Stonehouse might be the best punter in the league, by the way, and he's a rookie. So, pretty impressive. And look at Tyler Whitney. Round 2 to 3 projection, round 1 talent. We didn't really even need to get Tremaine Edmonds, although it is a great upgrade. We just might draft him anyway. Why not? More talent is a good thing. Lamar Allen ran 4.36 at his pro day. That's pretty good. How do I get all the linebackers? I want all of them. This is another really good-looking draft class. Again, we don't really have the picks, but I'd like to get in position for Lamar Allen, and we will be in position for Tyler Whitley from Ohio State. And then whatever happens, happens. Beyond that, though, I'm just going to get 2 linebackers and be in a really, really good position. Trading Shaq Thompson a 1 and a 2 to move up to number 10. Shaq Thompson just, I don't see his value anymore. We won a championship with him, but now we're going to use him to set up the next one, hopefully. And we're going to take that linebacker at number 10. Value might be a little bit too early for him, but I'm pretty okay with it. Going to take him here. Don't want to see him get drafted ahead of us, but it's the combination of good block shed tackle and coverage with being a phenomenal athlete that makes me really excited about this guy as a player. Only normal dev, of course, but 90 speed, 91 acceleration, 86 agility, and I think he's really good. A-hit power. Should be a really good player. I would expect at least a 74, 75 overall. Not getting the good dev trait. A little bit gutting, to be honest, but I still think he's going to be good. And if he's not going to overtake Shaq Thompson this year, it's going to be next year. And then we're going to go Tyler Whitley because we know he's a steal here. Round 1 talent. Also normal dev, but 85 speed, 91 acceleration. Absolute steal. And we're going to get a running back here on day 3. He's not very good, but he's fine. And that's kind of all I'm looking for here. Pretty good speed, to be honest. 92 agility, also not bad. I don't even know if Miles Sanders has 92 agility. Now, it won't end up factoring in too much, but that's pretty good. Draft recap, show me something here. 73 overall. I thought he'd be slightly higher, 74, 75, but middle linebacker as opposed to outside. Whitley is a 75 overall. Phillips is a 70. CPU did not do too well down the board. And there were more players in this class I would have preferred. And Calvin Thurston was the #1 overall pick and the highest overall player in the draft. I didn't really think he was going to be in the 80s. I could have saw like 78, 79. But the Cardinals take him #1 overall. That is bizarre. I didn't even think running backs could go that high anymore. And they probably wouldn't in real life. But they do in the game. Okay, this is the final team. Big additions, Jalen Waddle. And we'll see what this final season has in store for us. Defense looks really, really good. We have good depth with our rookies as well. And I didn't even talk about Brandon Smith in this entire thing either. Another freak athlete where if he develops, you could really have something. He is an insane athlete. And we are undefeated. Stop the press is 7-0. Bucks 1-6. And Miles Sanders is like, hey, maybe I could be a superstar X Factor now? Yeah, dude. I'm thinking that it's possible. About time. About time. We should move to 8-0 after this one, I would guess. We only win by a touchdown. Nope, Miles Sanders did not go up. Well, that's actually surprising with the numbers he's been putting up. He needed 200 total yards. I thought he was going to get it. And let's see if the Commanders are the team to stop our undefeated streak. Yep, of course it is. They're the bane of my existence in this rebuild. And we finished 14-3, which is still pretty good. We'll take the first round bye in the NFC. CJ Stroud took, it looks like another step back somehow, which I assume means Miles Sanders took a step forward, which kind of 4.5 yards per carry, 1,500 rushing yards, 12 touchdowns. Not too bad, obviously. And then receiving, very odd numbers. Nobody over 1,000 yards. Jalen Hyatt led the team in both catches and yards and touchdowns. Waddle didn't really do a whole lot because so much of the offense is being flooded through Miles Sanders. And then defensively, we put up some numbers. 17 tackles for loss for Burns, 16 for Gary, 15 for Hargrave, 14 for Derek Brown, and Brian Burns put up 25 sacks. I don't know how the actual franchise has gone, but that's an NFL record. 14.5 for Rashawn Gary. Very good numbers. And then interceptions, 7 for Marquise Wiggins. Oh, we got a stud. We have an absolute stud here in Marquise Wiggins. Dude, 6'4" with coverage ability and then unbelievable athleticism on top of that. Very, very good draft pick for us. One of the best we've had. I hesitated to say it the first time, but I'm going to say it. Like, wouldn't you absolutely love to have that type of player on your franchise team? I think you would. And then CJ Stroud's going to go up, well into the 90s after this upgrade. He's playing up into a 93 right now with accuracies approaching 99. And we are up to a 91 overall, playing the Rams here in the divisional. Matt Corral with a big pregame upgrade. That could be the difference in this game. Rams are an 82 overall. If they knock us out of the playoffs here with Jalen Ramsey still, I'm going to be upset. 30-28. Unbelievable, man. We had a +9 overall. They're using players they don't even have on their team, and they're into the Super Bowl. This is BS, dude. Marquise Wiggins is up to Superstar X Factor, by the way. He won DB of the year. He's very good. That's what I'll say about him. He can play. And the Rams beat the Browns in the Super Bowl. Jalen Hurts wins MVP with the Bears. Okay. Brian Burns, Defensive Player of the Year. Interesting. All right, you know what? One more year. Let's do it. Aquanu wants to test free agency. He's getting tagged. Moten probably is going to return. We'll make sure of it. He's back. Hargrave going to test. Cody Whitehair probably as well. We don't really need these guys. I'm just going to franchise tag Aquanu. And we'll get a Cody Whitehair and Javon Hargrave replacement. All right, let's get Grover Stewart from the Colts. I think we've seen him in free agency before, but he's back, and he's a scheme fit, so we'll bring him in. We basically have no more money left. Cole Strange would be nice. We can't afford him. Let's get Dylan Parham. How'd we do? Stewart and Parham both have signed. That's fine. That's better than what we had, to be honest. Hargrave was down to like a 78, and Cody Whitehair was at a 76, but is older than Dylan Parham, so we're good. I don't know. We're just going to draft whoever in the draft. I'll probably just let the CPU take it. And we actually got pretty good value. Larry Davis down the board. Zone corner. More depth, I guess. But there was a stud quarterback, Kevin Bronson. That's not what that says. Kevin Branson from Kentucky. Oh, no. 6'4", 226. It's Will Levis. Cannon of an arm. It's Will Levis. Nah, I mean, 80 overall would be pretty nuts. Will Levis might be closer to a 70, if I had to guess. But that is really a great pick for them. And, I mean, the Seahawks got a quarterback, too. 75 overall is not bad. And they didn't even get the best quarterback in the draft by a lot. Took Mitchell Richard from Nebraska. Gotta love some Big Ten football. All right, we're gonna win the Super Bowl this year again. Wiggins is up to Superstar X Factor. I'm not gonna move him out of his role. He was really, really good in that role. He's gonna stay as our nickel, and that's fine. I would love for the team to play better in the playoffs. That's it. Another 13-4 season. I mean, we were a 92 overall team. We've taken some drastic measures to get there, but we are here. CJ Stroud, another pretty good year. I mean, he's had a pretty awesome career for us so far, and he's just 24 years old with pretty incredible stats. Miles Sanders took a step back in terms of the yards per carry, but still very, very good. And 89 agility, but it's been at 89. Darnell Mooney, great year. Jalen Waddle did pretty well. Jalen Hyatt, nearly 1,000 yards and 13 touchdowns. Also a phenomenal season for him. He's got great deep route running. The rest is not being developed. And then defensively, Rashawn Gary this time put up 24 sacks. Oh my goodness. And Brian Burns was right behind him. 23 and a half. 8.5 for Brown. Interceptions, 4 for Diggs. Tarpley with 3. Haven't really mentioned him too much because what are you going to say about a safety? But he's up to an 89 overall. He's developing really, really nicely. I mean, the team is phenomenal. We have managed to keep together our core. This should be a Super Bowl team. I think we hit our stride a little bit early, and then we missed it last year where I expected us to really just be a shoo-in to bring home the Lombardi. Didn't end up happening. And I'll tell you, if the Falcons knock us out in the wild card, this video will abruptly end. Thankfully, it continues, and we'll take on the Giants. Can we beat the Giants? I'll tell you, I remember the 05 playoffs. One of my first playoff series I really, truly remember for the Giants as a 98 baby. And the Panthers were very annoying. I think it was 2005. And Panthers knocked out the Giants, and I hated the Panthers. And those thoughts have faded a bit, but I remember them. 55-49 in what is maybe the highest scoring playoff game in NFL history. Somebody's going to have to fact check that, but that's 100 plus points combined. So I think it probably is true. And now the 84 overall Seahawks in the conference championship. We are 1 win from the Super Bowl. Should I have jumped in? Probably. Did I? Will I come to regret it? No. We are in the Super Bowl, and we could beat the Chiefs for a second time. Let's do it. CJ Stroud has been downgraded to star. He's up to 91 throw power, though. He's still going to be good, but he lost his abilities. Imagine your team goes to the Super Bowl, and in the Super Bowl week, you lose your abilities. Jalen Waddle has lost superstar. Unreal. Defensively, Rashawn Gary is up to superstar. We've been robbed, dude. We have been absolutely robbed. All right, let's go. Let's close out on a win. It is a tie ball game. Now, we were down early in the last Super Bowl. Came back to win. We took the lead to start this one, and we really haven't seen a whole lot of action since. We are up now 21-7. Chiefs offense did not come to play, and as I say that, they score back-to-back touchdowns to make this a tie game, 21-21. Field goal puts us up 24-21, and the defense is playing very well, forcing a 4th and 10, and the Chiefs will punt. I get that they have 3 timeouts left, and their defense had stretches of playing well. But that seems to be a wild decision to me. It is 4th and 10 from your own 35. It would be a tough one. I could see it going either way. I guess with the 3 timeouts, you kind of feel like you have to punt. But at the same time, as Jalen Waddle's having a great game, at the same time, you know, you are so close to losing a Super Bowl and you give the football away. Feels like it wouldn't be the move. Look at Miles Sanders go. I think they're going for the football. You know, maybe it's a different decision if it's inside 2 minutes. But, I mean, you're leaving a lot up to chance here. Let me know in the comment section below. Would you have gone for it with Patrick Mahomes on 4th and 10 with 3 minutes left in this situation? I don't know. Again, it's a tough decision. I could see it either way. I would just find it so tough to give the football back to the other team and they can just close the game out. I mean, a first down would put the Chiefs in such an impossible position right here. It would be really, really tough to win the game if we were able to convert this. You're basically saying, oh, we're not going to allow a first down. But they have, and that's their first time out. But here's another 3rd and 3, right? If they were to get a stop here, and this is 4-down territory for me, I'll tell you that. Clock's going to be running. They can get the football back if we were to punt with a minute and no timeouts. That's, you know, your best case scenario if you were to allow a first down. And they get the stop. It's 4th and inches, right? And this is going to go all the way down to about a minute. Now, we are going to come out and sneak it, right? But picture a different scenario. Picture that a minute left on the clock, the team punts to you. You might get the football back from the 15-yard line with no timeouts and 50 seconds. That'd be a tough spot. And that's if you allow 1 first down. I know, it's a tough call. We're going to sneak it here and be successful and win the Super Bowl, so it doesn't matter. I think based on how this has played out, you would say, oh, you have to go for it. You have to. As Miles Sanders will take off. He had 10. But, you know, it could have gone a different way. Maybe you trust your defense, you got to stop. But they've already allowed 24 points. I don't know. I'd love to end it on a CJ Stroud touchdown. Throwing it underneath and incomplete. Didn't have the arm to get there. Maybe CJ Stroud needs a slight increase. But that is the Super Bowl. 24-21. CJ Stroud and the Panthers have won 2 out of a possible 3 Super Bowls with him in the league. Or did I play? Maybe it's 2 out of 4. Either way, pretty incredible. 2 Super Bowls in this video. Gotta love it. But that's going to do it for me, guys. Let me know who you think the Panthers should draft at number 1 as well. CJ Stroud, Bryce Young, Anthony Richardson, Will Levis, even a trade down. Let me know. But thank you so much for watching. Hope you enjoyed. Subscribe if you're not subscribed, and I'll see you in the next one. Take it easy.